Time for some haircuts. I like to cut hair on the back of some platform. So that way the hair goes right in the water. Come on down, my next victim.
What?
Alright, time to get your hair?
Yep.
Getting too tall for this.
It's on stop motion and slow motion.
Come on, bub. Third one. Let's go. I do need scissors.
I'd like
to cut your hair.
this to be an 8. Just cut my hair.
You happy to get your hair cut? Stop. It's okay. It's okay. Put your head down. Just put your head down.
Stop.
And now it's Chris's turn. Come here. Let me help. Oh no.
I'm back here, Dad.
You see it up here?
No, hang on. Let me see.
It's right here.
No, I can't.
I got it, Dad.
So,
That cheapo cable I bought, it was supposed to be stainless steel. You good? Can I let go of the line?
Yes, I got it. I'm pulling it from you.
so it dropped the entire dinghy.
Yeah, it dropped the entire dinghy from about 10 feet in the air. Luckily, it wasn't all the way up. So, these are all it just like exploded. It tore apart.
Looks like
But you caught the dinghy?
It just landed flat in the water.
The dinghy did?
Yeah.
that is why we always hold on to it with a line.
That's right.
Otherwise, we're just like, look, it's still flipped.
Yeah, did the wire do any damage to the dinghy?
No, maybe that weight is something, but
At least it didn't pop it.
oh, look, if I'm correct, there's like a little line of it. See it? Just a dark mark.
Don't.
No.
Yeah, don't know. We
Well,
can't lose
I
that.
might be able to reuse part of it. Can I get
Sorry,
the,
I need your help.
Can someone grab me the vacuum cleaner? Because I'm going to vacuum these shards up before.
Yeah, which this whole thing is.
I know, that's the last like 10 feet of it, and that's the frayed part. It just went right into the wheel and it snapped. I just wanted to watch a movie tonight. Yeah.
Don't drop my vacuum, please. And that is why we always keep the dinghy keys in the dinghy when we're putting it up, in case anything happens and it floats away, someone has to swim to it, they can start it.
We always have a safety line.
And we always have a safety line that someone's holding on to.
And no one's ever under it or in it.
And no one's in it or under it. Because, yeah, it snapped. And had we not had a hold of it, I mean, we have a buddy boat. We could have gone and gotten it, but it would have been 30 minutes of watching it float away before they could put their dinghy down.
Yeah, but luckily there wasn't really any wind today, so.
What a pain.
Welcome. Third,
We got beer.
we have beer. Is it cold yet?
I put some in the freezer.
And then somebody left the fridge.
Did you get hurt, Carter? Were you up top or down below?
I was up
We
top
both-
pressing the button and I was like, alright, huh?
We heard it.
Also, the boat went from leaning like this to that in like 3 seconds.
We're going to tow our dinghy today. In the past, I've been able to, I had a smaller line on it, I like to put it through here and then use this to clip to my line. I put a line from one side of my cleat over to the other side. It makes like a tow bridle, and then I like to clip this in the middle. This doesn't chafe as much as rope on rope or line on line. But I don't have that option today, so I'm just going to tie a bowline, and it should tow straight behind us. We'll just pay attention. I think we're only going a couple hours, so we should be okay. So tonight we're going to go to Hoffman's, which is in the Barry. It's about a 4-hour jaunt, and then the next day we're going to go over to Spanish Wells and Eleuthera. Spanish Wells has quite a bit of hardware selection and boatyard, so I'm thinking they should either have a whole new cable for me with a hook, or the U-joint that I need in order to crimp the cable onto itself. Then I can just cut the end of this cable off and shorten it and keep rolling. We'll see. We don't know what they're gonna have till we get there.
Absolutely gorgeous day for cruising, and the water is calm, perfectly calm. We are towing our dinghy, our Highfield Sea Salt, and so Chris had to move it to one side of the boat, so he's cleated off on both on one side. So we'll see how that works out, and we want to throw a line out on the other side, so we're going to try to catch some tuna or mahi. Thank you to 95.5 Fishing in Islamorada, who lent us a bunch of really nice trolling poles, because we are not really expert fishing people, and so they gave us a bunch of tips, and we'll see what we can get. Hopefully we get something to eat for dinner tonight, maybe some fish tacos, something yummy. Almost to our anchorage in Hoffman's Key in the Berry Islands. We never caught any fish. We didn't really get very deep because we stayed along the island chain, so I wasn't really depending on it that much. But when we go through deeper waters, hopefully we'll catch something then. So I'm just going to reel it in because we're getting ready to anchor down.
We're gonna go see a blue hole on land.
On Hoffman's Cay?
Yeah, on Hoffman's Cay, and it should be really fun.
You live in Chase, and you guys grab your snorkel from there.
Oh my gosh! Bugs in my ears. We're here at the Blue Hole. It is not as clear as I had expected. It is pretty brackish. I float like nothing else, so it's got to be pretty salty, but it's like murky, green, slimy. It was cool though to say I did it. It's nice and refreshing. Now we're gonna go see some of that crystal clear Bahamas water.
Good Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of
Talking from our aft. So we are actually really dark, and we know that, but that's because the background is absolutely gorgeous.
The sun is setting behind us, so it is evening for us, and who knows what time it is for you.
Today on our Talking from our aft, we are going to talk about fuel costs and dealing with and coping with the crazy diesel prices. So we've gotten a lot of questions as far as how are you handling the increased cost of diesel, because we obviously live in a trawler, and
I find lube works best.
so
It helps with the pain when they bend you over. It's just...
So let me start with some basics.
You're expecting that word.
I was not expecting that. I was like, where are you going with that? Oh, family show. So hold on real quick. So we have two Ford Lehman engines.
Uh-huh.
They are 185 horsepower each. We hold 600 gallons of diesel, 300 on each side in two different tanks. And our generator is a Westerbeek, and it also uses diesel.
7.6 kilowatts, a 3-cylinder. Our
What
generator
other
burns about a
options?
half gallon an hour while it's running, and our engines each burn about 2 gallons an hour. So if we're running both engines at our cruise speed of about 8 knots, which for us is about 1,600 RPM, we'll burn about 4 gallons an hour. Of course, that can vary. The speed can vary based on currents and wind and stuff, but
Right.
1,600 RPM normally does about 8 knots and normally burns about 4 gallons per hour total.
And we've been very fortunate in the Bahamas so far that actually we've been riding with the current pretty well. So we've been able to even catch some extra speed.
Yep. So,
running still 1,600 RPM.
yep, definitely.
So as far as diesel costs, I don't know if you caught
filled
our
up
diesel
about
story.
a month or so ago, right?
Well, we filled up
I topped
a
off.
lot in October.
I put 200 gallons in, 201 gallons, and I think it was
$1,400.
it that much?
We paid almost $5 a gallon.
$4.75 a gallon, I think.
Yeah. And that was, sorry, so I mentioned October. So in October, we put in 400 gallons. And then we just topped up before we left for the Bahamas, another 200 gallons.
Oh, yeah. Way back, when we parked the...
Right when diesel costs started going up.
That's right.
And we filled up in October for $3.60. And we thought, that's ridiculous. But let's fill it up. And
we got, I think it was 425 gallons or something like that. And then...
we took everything the truck had, which you don't want to have the last end of the truck. But
that's fine.
we also wanted to fill up as much as we could.
That's what he had left. And then between running the generator and something for 6, 7, 8 months, we needed another 200 gallons to top off. And we completely filled the tanks before we took off for the Bahamas. And that was, like I say, $4.75 a gallon. And that one was $900 some, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I calculated wrong.
Yeah.
So one thing that we did over Christmas time is we installed solar panels, and that has helped with our diesel consumption immensely.
We went from having to run the generator 6 hours a day to keep batteries topped off morning and night, 2-3 hours in the morning and 3-4 hours in the evening, to we might run the generator for an hour every other day to either make hot water or do some other issue.
Yeah.
If we want to run ACs, we got to run the
It's
generator.
cloudy because there's been some stormy days and there's been cloudy days, and so we've had to.
But our
run the
generator,
for that.
we used to change oil every couple weeks,
Yeah, every like 2 weeks we'd have to change.
every
oil.
10 days or something, or 10 to 14 days, and that was every 100 hours. Now I'm going 6 weeks to 2 months before I hit my 100 hours on the generator, maybe even longer.
So to answer your question, so we've answered what we have, what we run, how much we burn.
Mm-hmm.
How are we dealing with it? To be really honest with you, here's how I still feel about it. I still, maybe it's a little snarky of me, I still feel like we actually spend a whole lot less on a trawler than sailboats and catamarans. And that seems ridiculous that I would say that, but in the 3 years we've lived on a boat, I think we are just now maybe getting close to spending $10,000 in fuel.
Yeah, so we've
over
got
3 years.
we've in 3 years. I think this is our 7th or 8th time that we've had to put fuel
That
in.
many? I thought
Well,
5 or 6.
We did 4 or 5 the first year and a half. We did because we did like 3 times in the Bahamas when we were there for 9 months. We filled
we
it
filled
before
it
to 4. No, it was 3 times.
Okay.
When we got up to Tampa, we filled it, and
Okay.
I've done fuel down here twice
Okay,
in
okay.
Key West. So yeah, I would say probably 7 or 8 times. And each time it's been usually about, our cheapest fill up was $900. Our most expensive fill up I think was $1,600 or $1,800, and that was when we like filled it when we were
Right.
almost empty, I think. But we've paid as little as $1.85 a gallon and as high as $4.70.
$4.75.
We never paid
Oh.
over $5 in the Bahamas.
No, but we did get gasoline for our dinghy in the Bahamas.
No, that was for the rental car.
And for our dinghy, you filled the jerry cans.
Yeah, that's right.
With
I did.
gasoline.
And we paid $6.10 a gallon
Mm-hmm.
for gasoline. And luckily we only had to buy 15 gallons, but still that's
But
chunk of change.
I mean, one sail. We actually have multiple friends who have ruined their mainsails or their lines or the rigging and stuff like that. And you're talking $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to repair that stuff,
Yeah.
all to move for free.
Yeah, I think we have friends that have spent more on one sail
Mhm.
than we have on fuel for 3 years on this boat.
Yeah,
And they
And-
still have the same engines to maintain that we have.
exactly.
Catamarans have 2 engines. They got to do oil changes. And then on top of that, most of those folks that I know that have a sailboat still motor probably 90% of the time.
Oh, maybe 84%.
Oh, whatever. Maybe 100% for a lot of people.
But so that's, I mean, we just kind of calculate that in as, part of the trip. We're going to fill up with fuel before we leave and when we come back, and it's just, if it's in our budget, it's in our budget. But as far as like living on anchor, or when you stop at an anchorage, like, where we stop and anchor for a week or so at a time, we're not really spending any diesel stopping.
Yeah.
It's just moving. And so, from like
And that's because of the solar panels. The solar panels
Yeah.
made a big difference. We used to run our generator a lot,
solar panels,
and they made a big deal.
the best financial decision, and I think no matter what liveaboard boat you live in.
If you're going to be at anchor, if your intention is to be at anchor a lot, cruise around and be at anchor, solar panels is the way to go.
Yep.
If you're a dock queen and you like to go dock to dock to dock to dock, it probably doesn't matter for you, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yep.
Decent set of batteries, good alternators, shore power. That's all you can do. But with us and the way we live on anchor, and we spend a lot of time at anchor when we're cruising, they've been amazing. They've been awesome. And they provide that redundancy.
Yes.
That's another big thing.
So
when
we
you're cruising, they
do
provide
still
redundancy.
have our generator for power if we need, and we do use the solar panels, and we do still have our engine in case we need to charge batteries that way. But I was gonna say, like, when we traveled from Bimini to the Berries, which is where we are right now, according to our YouTube video. What is that? Like 100 miles, maybe?
Well, from Nassau to Bimini was 106.
Okay, so
It
just
was
say,
like 70 or 80 miles, right?
so say 100 miles, and we're gonna burn, let's see, 8 gallons an hour.
I think it breaks down to we get
So-
about a mile a gallon.
So no. So 8 miles an hour, we're traveling like say 12 hours to get there. We burn 4 gallons an hour, so we're only burning like 50 gallons. Maybe my math is terrible. I'm doing this live.
You're the math person.
But I mean, you know, in order to go visit a whole new island chain in the Bahamas, I've got to spend $50 to $200. To me, it's worth it. So
yeah.
That's how we deal with it, is we get to go travel around the Bahamas for a very small fraction of the price of an airplane ticket, or...
It's true. Once you own the boat, it's just fuel, and that's not a lot compared to what it would cost.
Yeah.
To spend that amount of time at a resort.
And let me answer it this way, too. It has not... The cost of fuel prices has not hindered us from any travel.
No. It hurts.
It
hurts at the moment you're filling it up, and that big chunk comes out of your account, but...
We didn't not travel any
compared
because of it.
Compared to taking a vacation and going and spending 4 weeks in the Bahamas and the resorts and
I don't know with how much food we
cheaper.
spent or provision we spent. I don't know.
No, because just to eat out thus far, anywhere we go, it's been $180 to $200.
True.
And that's without drinking. That's just food for 5 kids. Doesn't help that 2 of our kids eat like 2 meals every time now.
We only have 3 kids, not 5 kids.
But I said 5 people.
You said 5 kids.
Whatever.
Anyway,
it's like feeding 5 kids.
It is, yeah.
Is what I mean.
So anyway, no, it really hasn't hindered us. We hate that it costs more, but it really is a small price to pay for living in paradise. And when you're anchored out, you don't spend the diesel anyway. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and share with your friends. If you have any questions about boat life or any thoughts or comments, please leave them below as well, or reach out on Facebook and Instagram. Again, thanks for watching, and remember,
enjoy the journey.
Me, man, I have made fire!